Welcome back to Fox Explainer. Today I am going to show you an American monster movie from 2015 called The Sand. Spoilers ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Watch out and take care. The movie starts with a group of young people partying on a beach. A cameraman films everyone as they dance, kiss, and have fun. A guy named Mitch makes everyone put their phones in a bag so that no one can take pictures of the crazy night and put them on the internet. Then, two guys named Vance and Gilbert bring a ball of gooey stuff and say they found it in the water. Everyone is disgusted, but they don't think much of it. The scene suddenly jumps to the next morning. Everybody has fallen asleep. A girl named Kaylee is with Mitch, and four of their friends, named Chanda, Jonah, Ronnie, and Vance, are in a car nearby. Kaylee wakes up first and is looking around when she sees a bird on the beach that is struggling to fly. She thinks that it is stuck, but all of a sudden, the bird sinks into the sand. Kaylee, who is startled, tries to warn everyone not to step on the sand, but when she turns around, she sees her other friend Marcia, who was lying naked on a bench and jumping on the sand. Her feet get stuck, and she can't move. The group is confused, and Vance tries to run out to get her. Kaylee tries to stop him, but he does not listen. He, too, falls in the sand before he can reach Marcia and gets stuck. Marcia is nowhere to be found now. The sand has swallowed her up completely. Vance screams in pain and asks his girlfriend Ronnie for help. As Vance tries to lift his head, his skin and eye get pulled out of his head. Ronnie screams his name in fear when he sinks into the sand. The group starts coming up with ideas for how this can happen. When they try to call someone, they find their phones are in the trunk of the car. Jonah tries to start the car, but it won't work because its battery is dead. The group is completely stuck at the beach. Kaylee then walks up to the deck and hovers her hand over the sand. We see white strings trying to reach her hand from under the sand. Mitch is shocked to see it too. Just then, one of their friends named Gilbert wakes up stuck in a trash can. He hates the guys for shoving him into the trash can when he passed out the other night. The group tells him not to move. When Gilbert hears that Marcia and Vance are dead, he is confused, but he does what he is told. Mitch and Kaylee go inside, and Jonah looks at them with jealousy. Kaylee and Jonah were dating not too long ago, but she is hurt that Johan is now with Chanda. Chanda tries to comfort Jonah by saying that Kaylee finally found someone for her. A few hours pass, but nobody comes looking for them. Kaylee finds sunscreen and gives it to those outside. Gilbert is about to pass out because of the heat. Kaylee then starts to think about how this could have happened. They look around and finally realize that everyone else at the party has also been sucked into the sand. Just then, Kaylee sees the gooey ball from the other night near the water and sees that it has hatched. They think it was an egg of some kind of animal that lives under the sand. It has been eating people for its food. Since it just came into the world yesterday, the creature must be small and have a form. Kaylee comes up with a plan to find out how big the monster is. She gets some sausages and starts throwing them around the beach to see how big the thing is. Gilbert freaks out when he sees a bird getting sucked into the sand. He finally realizes that his friends are right about everything. The others fight back by throwing sausages at Kaylee, saying that it's the only food they have, but Kaylee doesn't stop. The last sausage doesn't get sucked in, and the group cheers because it seems like there might be a way out. But they still have no way to reach that far into the sand. Then Jonah goes to the back of their car and gets two surfboards. He keeps one in the sand and jumps on top of it. When he doesn't sink, everyone is glad. Then Jonah walks over to a bench nearby. Just before he steps on it, the surfboard moves on its own. Jonah almost hits the ground, and the string from the sand goes into his stomach. He gets out of the situation, but his stomach hurts. On the bench, he finds a bag full of food supplies. He drops a banana on the floor by accident, but it doesn't sink. Jonah moves his hands over the ground and figures out that the banana fell on the spot where they lit the bonfire last night. So the creature can't come out through fire or ash. When he stands up, we can see that the cuts on his stomach are getting worse and that pus is starting to come out of them. He starts to panic, but Kaylee tells him to look through the bag to calm down. He gives everyone the sodas and water he found in the bag while still whimpering in pain. His wounds keep getting worse. Then Jonah tries to give Mitch a can, but the pus pockets on his stomach start to break. He cries out in pain and falls to the bench. The moving surfboards on the ground show that the creature is still growing and changing. Kaylee sees strings tied to the tires of the car that are trying to move it. They don't have much time before the creature grows big enough to eat the whole car. Chanda and Ronnie go to the trunk to try to get the phones. Ronnie offers to stand on the hood and try to get it open. She asks Shanda to give her mother the letter she wrote in her diary if she dies, and she steps on the hood. She is about to open it, but Kaylee stops her, telling her that the trunk will open wide and cause her to fall into the sand. Kaylee gives them a rescue hook so Ronnie can hang onto it. She finally gets the trunk open. Just then, a car drives up to the beach and honks at the group. This scares Ronnie, so she accidentally closes the trunk again. Her fingers get stuck on it, making her cry out in pain. Mitch and Kaylee yell for the car to help them. In the car is a beach patrol officer. He thinks that the group is on drugs and doesn't take them seriously. Even though Kaylee is yelling at him to stay in his car, the man gets out of it. The group is surprised when he walks around freely on the beach. A close-up of his feet shows that the strings cannot be tied to his shoes. The officer goes over to Jonah and is disgusted by his wounds. He completely ignores his pleas for help, still thinking that the group is on drugs. He goes to talk to Kaylee and insults her and Mitch for being careless teens. He tells Kaylee to leave and gets angry when she says no. He threatens to use his pepper spray on them, but when he goes to get it, he drops his keys on the sand. The man then gets stuck while he's trying to pick them up. The officer finally understands that the group wasn't lying, but he can't do anything about it now. Kale tells him to use the pepper spray on the strings that are catching him. The spray works, and he is able to free his hand, but half of his arm is gone. He screams in pain, and the strings pull him down once more. After he is completely sucked into the sand, Kaylee gets the pepper spray he dropped. Now, Mitch plans to use sandals and towels wrapped around his feet to run through and get to the officer's car. He thinks that since the officer's shoes resisted the creature, the sandals would do the same. Shanda throws the towel at Mitch, but when he tries to catch it, the railing breaks. Mitch trips and falls onto the sand. The creature then eats him in a very cruel way. Kaylee's had enough of the creature. She notices that the broken railing is moving on the ground and gets an idea. She breaks a piece of the railing again and gives it to Shanda, planning to use it as a bridge later. She then gets on the deck and manages to jump onto the car. As soon as she lands, Kaylee hits Shanda in the face for sleeping with her boyfriend. Shanda doesn't care, so she and Ronnie help her get her fingers out of the trunk. Jonah, who was sitting on the bench the whole time, tells Kaylee that he loves her. Kaylee then tells them her plan. She wants to use the railing as a bridge to get to Jonah and then get everyone to the officer's car. Shanda gets the railing and sets it on the sand. She walks carefully and is able to reach Jonah. Kaylee is the same. The three are safe on the bench when Ronnie walks toward them. But the strings catch on her hurt hand, making her fall. Kaylee tries to save her with pepper spray, but it only works for a second. The creature drags Ronnie into the sand. Shanda then wraps her feet in a towel and a bag and runs to the car. She manages to get on its hood before the strings can catch her. Gilbert cheers to celebrate, but not long after that, his bin starts shaking. His body is cut by the edge of the trash can, and the blood draws the creature. The girls tell him to hold on, but the creature has gotten into the bin and is grabbing his legs. Gilbert starts vomiting blood. Soon, several large sets of limbs grab him and pull him to the ground. The arms then shake the car, causing Shanda to fall onto the hood. She loses consciousness as Kaylee yells at her to wake up. Several hours pass, and now it's night. Shanda regains consciousness at last. Kaylee is still sitting on the bench with an injured Jonah. Shanda sees a raft on the top of the officer's car and uses it to get to the bench. The three people make it to the raft and to the vehicle. Shanda and Jonah are inside the car, but before Kaylee can get in, a huge glowing tentacle attacks her. The creature has reached its full potential now. Kaylee goes on top of the car, where she finds a gas can. She uses it to light the tentacle on fire and gets into the car. Everything goes quiet when Kaylee and Shanda realize that Jonah has died from his injuries. The girls hug each other and cry over the loss of their friends. The next morning, a man knocks on the car's windows, waking the girls. They see that the monster is gone, and they can walk on the sand. Traumatized, they walk across the sand together as the man calls for an ambulance. In the last shot, the creature, which turns out to be a huge jellyfish, is seen in the water heading towards Santa Monica Pier. That was probably the most exciting game of The Floor is Lava that they ever played. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more and hit the like button to help me out, and also leave a comment if you want me to explain your favorite film. Until next time, take care.